Hi, I'm Rory from Powerball, and today I want to give you a short tutorial on how to use the counter on your battery-free Powerball. There are two types of counter, by the way. There's the one which has two buttons and it's got little batteries in there, and there's this one, the latest one that we have, which is a single button with backlight, and it's completely induction powered. It takes its power from the big magnet that's spinning around inside in the rotor. And it has, like its predecessor, it's got 6 functions. And whilst there are instructions with the product, we just thought it might be useful just to give a quick little recap on what's going on inside there throughout each of the different modes. So without further ado, this is an auto start ball, so I was just winding that spring as I was talking to you. It needs about 2000 RPMs, 1800 to 2000 RPMs before the counter fires up. As soon as it senses that, it'll automatically power up for you. There's no fooling around, switching it on, switching it off. It all happens as soon as it detects motion from the rotor. So the first mode, you can see that there if it's gone into focus, a little symbol there. The first mode basically, essentially, every 100 revolutions that the rotor makes, it will count as 1. That's fine. It can actually be quite a useful feature if you're recovering from some sort of an injury. You want to just set yourself a session of 500, for example. That's 50,000 spins of the rotor. Take you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. It depends on what speed you're going at. It means you don't need to be looking at your phone. You can be just sort of have a quick little glance. Oh, I'm at 500. That's it. I'm done for the day. Because again, when you're recovering, it's about driving blood to the muscles. So nice, slow, steady spin, as opposed to going too fast, is exactly what you're after. So useful enough feature, not used very often by most people, to be truthful. Most people just pick up the ball, they'll spin it away until they get tired, and then they'll just put the ball away. Second mode, just going to go through these rather than labouring. Second mode is not important at all. It's kind of a funny thing to say, but it's actually true. Basically, it's the real-time speed of what's going on anytime you're looking at it. So you can see it there. You can see it slowly going down. As the rotor's slowing down, it's slowing down with you. It's irrelevant because if you do a high-speed spin and you stop spinning to look at the speed, you've already dropped around 10% of what was of the score that you had achieved by the time you actually get to look at the counter. So it's not even worth discussing here. The real one that you want to actually be looking at is the third one. There's a little symbol of a lightning bolt. It's the one that we recommend most. You can see it there, little symbol, lightning bolt. Basically, that's the mode which stores the highest achieved spin speed during a session, and that's the one everybody wants. You want to see just how fast you manage to spin the ball. If you're competing against a friend, whatever, that's the one you want, because if your friend gets 11,000, it'll show and it'll stay 11,000, and then he hands the ball to you and you start spinning. Your score, the current score that the ball is achieving, will replace the 11,000, and you'll spin away like a demon. And if you happen to get 11,200, that's the score that's going to be stored as the high score in the ball, displacing your friends. If you manage to get 10,999, then it'll show that you got 10,999 for about 5 seconds before it reverts back to your friend's 11,000 score. So it's a kind of a high-speed storage system, a high-speed spin storage system. It's ideal because, as I say, it allows you to see exactly the highest speed in any different session, but it won't necessarily replace the high speed that was done overall if you're having a little competition. If you don't use the product for 48 hours, the score is gone. So if you just manage to make a new world record for yourself and you're going off on a week's holidays, write it down somewhere, because it'll actually have been wiped. If you don't, well, of course you should be bringing your Powerball with you, but if you just happen to, you're not going to be spinning for 2 or 3 days, write it down, because it'll actually be lost out of the memory because there's no batteries in this. That is the mode, as I say, that most people use. But there is 3 more modes, and these are the ones that actually you should be considering because they're very, very good. And using these properly will help to enormously increase your high-speed spin record. The first one starts off with 30. As soon as you go from the previous mode onto this, it'll start off with 30 and it'll start counting down. And this is really important. This is the endurance mode. Basically, as soon as you select that mode, it'll start counting down from 30 to 0. And as it's counting down, the counter is accumulating the revolutions that the rotor is making, and it's storing them all up in its memory, and as soon as it comes to 0, it'll fire up the total number of revolutions achieved in 30 seconds. That's really, really good, because to actually spin at high speed to try and get your high speed score of 11,000 or 12,000 or whatever it is your high speed score is, you've got to put all your effort into this for about 5 seconds. In other words, you spin up the ball casually and then you really get at it, and about for 5 seconds you put maximum input into it and you get yourself a high score. It could be 12,000, 13,000, could be 10,000, whatever you're achieving. But when you're in the endurance mode, the 30-second or the 60-second or the 90-second that you'll get when you press the button again. When you're in 30, it starts at 30, press it again, it goes to 60, press it again, it goes to 90. You are challenging yourself to spin as fast as you can, as hard as you can, for a full 30 seconds or 60 seconds or 90 seconds. And that is character building, because, as I say, for the first 10 seconds, okay, it's hard. Next 20 seconds, you're really feeling it. But those last 10 seconds in the 30-second mode, where you're gone flat out as fast as you can go, your arm is turning to jelly, your muscle is breaking down, you're starting to lose your sort of precision spin because fatigue is set in. Doing that on a regular basis, 2 or 3 times a week, going as fast as you can for 30 seconds, as I say, will make a huge difference to your actual high speed capabilities, because you're building huge muscle endurance, or endurance in the muscle. Really good if you're a climber or a cyclist. Those are 2 sports where people tend to suffer from muscle fatigue. It's where the actual muscle gets pumped. And if you're a climber clinging onto the side of the wall, you don't want muscle fatigue, or you don't want to get pumped forearms, because, as I say, you lose your ability to grip the wall and off you'll go. Same with cyclists. There's a thing called biker's palsy. So using a Powerball for 30 seconds as fast as you can go, 2 or 3 times a week, or 60 seconds or 90 seconds, is a phenomenal way to actually use the product. And let me preface that by saying you want to have a good, strong heart, because this is isometric exercise and you're holding it for 30 seconds or 60 seconds or 90 seconds as hard as you can go. You don't want to have a heart condition doing that. You want to be nice and fit, but if you're fit, just use the ball in that mode as often as you can. As I say, you'll have huge endurance improvements in your actual arms, in your forearms, your flexors and your extensors. You'll have huge ability to grip for long periods of time without any fatigue, and as I say, it'll make a massive difference to your actual eventual high speed spin capabilities with the other mode. There is one thing that there's a couple of we get emails from time to time saying, well, I started my Powerball and the counter didn't come on, then I stopped it and started again, it was fine. Because it's completely battery free and there's a little sensor inside there, sometimes, depending on where the magnet is when you actually start the ball, it can sometimes not fire up the sensor and the counter won't power up. It's not really a glitch, as I say, it's I suppose it's a positional thing, but if that happens, just stop the ball, start it again, and it's fine generally. As I said, there's a battery, it's battery free, it's got a little backlight in it which is useful for nighttime use. Very, very precise counter, extremely precise, really, really accurate basically. Again, 48-hour memory for a high score. If you have any questions about how to use this after watching this video, email us on help@powerballs.com or go to the powerballs.com/start page on the site where we have all these videos put up, and we're going to add more and more videos, basically just tutorials, little guides on how to use the products. We'll also put a video up there shortly on how to use the two button counter. This is, as I say, the single button battery free one. The other one has batteries. Same functionality, just a different configuration. Thank you again for watching. I hope you found the video useful, and please keep in touch.